There is no way he just said this. Craig Breslow just dropped jaw-dropping quote after jaw-dropping quote in their press conference Zoom call, if you will, with Sam Kennedy and Craig Breslow following the trade made with the San Francisco Giants, moving Rafael Devers to the West Coast. I'm here to break down a lot of the questions that we needed answers to that we got from Craig Breslow in this Zoom call. We'll break down all of that on this episode of Red Sox Digest. But first, please do remember to subscribe to the channel if you're a part of the near 90% watching this video not currently subscribed to the channel. We do appreciate the love and support, so thank you guys. But now let's get to it and break down how Craig Breslow and why Craig Breslow made this trade and the comments he made post making that trade and what ideas we have from him now. I will say, when this trade was made, everyone jumped on Breslow. Everyone wanted Breslow fired. Everyone was calling for his job, and I was a part of that crowd. Rafael Devers was Devers. He was a substantial piece to this team, if not the key piece to this team. And despite all of the saga that we went through with him moving from third to DH and DH hopefully to first, and that didn't happen, and the turmoil involved in all of those conversations, it seems like now Breslow wasn't the only guilty one. In the sense that if you check out the last video on Red Sox Digest where we broke down comments made by David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez, Rafael Devers wasn't the golden boy, if you will, and was not always the most clear in the sense that he wasn't always in the clear in the sense of trouble, and he wasn't always the most willing to be the guy for the Boston Red Sox. But now for the answers that Craig Breslow gave us. And yes, Sam Kennedy did give us some great answers in this interview as well, but we're going to be focusing on Craig Breslow as he was the focus of attention from all of Red Sox Nation the moment this trade was coming across our screens, whether it be on the TV, on our phones, or on your computer. It was immediately a gut punch, and everyone wanted Breslow's job, everyone wanted Breslow's neck, and everyone thought Breslow's ego really got in the way. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say all of the answers we're about to go through are great, because the first one we're going to break down that Jeff Passan tweeted makes me want to pull my ears off my head, because I just don't even want to listen to Breslow say these words. Where did I put it? It's right here. This is from Jeff Passan. Okay? Now, before I read it, this was made extremely known the second everyone saw this tweet. There's no way to track this. There's no way to actually say Breslow was right, Breslow was wrong. So take that the way you wish. But the quote itself is a bit nauseating. So here it is. Red Sox Chief Baseball Officer Craig Breslow on succeeding without Rafael Devers in 2025. Quote, I do think there's a real chance that at the end of the season, we're looking back and we've won more games than we otherwise would have. That's the end of the first quote from from Craig Breslow, cited by Jeff Passan. Now, I'm not going to argue against it because the Red Sox are 1-0 without Rafael Devers. I'm going to say that. But I'm also going to say there's no way, once again, I'm going to say this, there's no way to actually track this. We can go off of projections. But again, injuries could take place, freak things could take place, like you can't track this. There's no way to actually tell if someone's right or wrong when they say this. And the fact that Breslow would say this is just a bit infuriating, but it is what it is, and he did say it. I would love to know what you guys, before we even get to the next ones, let me know down below what your thoughts and opinions are on this quote from Craig Breslow. And you think it's just ridiculous in a sense, and just overall, do you think he's right or wrong? I guess we'll do that. But now on to more. And yes, we are going to cite Chris Colito in this article, or in this video, probably another 5 times. So he'll be tagged down in the description. Please go check him out. He's one of the best, if not the best, reporters when it comes to the Boston Red Sox specifically. So again, tag down below if you want to check out any of his profile, any of the content he posts. But he goes on to say this. Sam Kennedy and Craig Breslow went out of their way to not bash Rafael Devers on his way out of the door Monday, but they didn't sugarcoat things either. Quote, as we think about the identity, culture, and environment that is created by great teams, there was something amiss here. That's the end of the quote, and they're not really wrong. If they have this disgruntlement, and we just went through this with the last video on Red Sox Digest, breaking down the comments by Ortiz and Manny Ramirez, it's exactly what David Ortiz said. Like, if you are an employee of the Red Sox, if they tell you to jump, you jump. If they tell you to roll, you roll. If they tell you to play first base, You have at least have to make an effort to try. And he didn't do that. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want to move from third to DH, despite digging his heels in for the first 2 weeks, 10 days, whatever it may have played out to be. He ended up moving. And then the first base scenario took place and happened, and that's upsetting because that really was the final straw, it feels like, to get Devers out the door. Now we move on. This from Craig Breslow stood out to me, and I appreciate Carlito for choosing this quote because there was a lot of quotes from Breslow, but this is one of the more substantial ones because it really gives Red Sox Nation an idea of what to expect from this organization for the following upcoming years. And here it is. Quote, "We have a number of young players who are in the big leagues, and we're really excited about them. We're very deliberate and intentional about the environment we want to create." End of the quote from Breslow, and it goes hand in hand with the last quote we just read from him. The culture, the environment, the mentality, the overall character of the clubhouse matters. And if the dude getting paid the absolute most money on the team in the entire organization is acting the way Devers acted, not wanting to be the face of the franchise, which isn't always a problem. But when you've been there the longest, when you are the only guy with a World Series, a part of that organization, when you are statistically and based off intimidation and aura, you're the best player on the Red Sox, dude. Like, if you don't want to be the face of the franchise, you have to half-ass it. And if you don't, you have to, hope for Jarren Duran or one of these other guys to simply just take over that role undoubtedly. And simply that did not happen. And this overall mood and mentality and character and just culture that was in an overall environment that went into it just did not work out. And Breslow and the rest of the front office, and I'm assuming Alex Cora, all were on the same page. Hey, this isn't going to fly. These young guys are going to see this, and it's not going to be a good thing later in this tenure. When they see and they compare, hey, I'm going to act like Devers. They want me to go from right field to first base? You want me to learn a new position because I'm slow in the outfield? I'm getting paid $300 million. I'm good. I don't have to. That's not what you want. You want these guys to be accountable. You want them to buy in. You want them to want to have to do their job, regardless of the description. Whether it's first base, catcher, starting pitcher. If you want to be Kike Hernandez Part 2 and you have to pitch 2 innings a week and you're wearing half a helmet, if that's the job description, that's your job description. And damn it, you have to do that. You have to check the boxes. Now, Breslow, again, Chris Carlito again. Breslow, on paper, we're not going to have the same lineup we had. But this is about the game we play on the field. Says it's about it's about putting together a functional, complete team. And Breslow's right. The team is not going to be the same without Rafael Devers. The lineup specifically, as he was a substantial piece to that offense in the 2-hole. But with what they have and the flexibility and the versatility, they still have enough pieces to play the game of baseball, obviously. And they're going to go out there and they're going to compete and they're going to put the best product out on the field that they have available, with or without Rafael Devers. We saw it last night in Game 1 against the Seattle Mariners, where the Boston Red Sox won 2-0 after another phenomenal pitching performance from a Red Sox starter as well as the bullpen. Things are really starting to click in Boston, and it just sucks that Rafael Devers is no longer a part of it. We got 2 more quotes we're going to break down. One of them about Jordan Hicks and his overall job description when he does return from IL with this Red Sox organization. Again, from Chris Carlito, Breslow said Devers' camp was open to a fresh start, and that was communicated. So never a trade was demanded as reported, but definitely an openness to explore any option. So Devers never came to the front office and said, trade me. He never had his agency go to them and request a trade, demand a trade of any sorts. It just simply, the relationship did not work, and because of it, they were open to a fresh start elsewhere. The Red Sox front office, Craig Breslow included, Sam Kennedy, John Henry, all were open to that idea, and because it was communicated, they went out and they did it. They did not work behind Devers' back, and they got the job done, and they moved him. Now, for the package that came back, you are not going to have me convinced that it was a quality return. It's not going to happen. If Tibbs, the Florida State alumni that I am praying, ends up hitting 85 home runs in a season, yes, I'm exaggerating, but no, I'm not. He's a Florida State guy. I have a Florida State bias. I am not optimistic about him. I'm not optimistic about Jordan Hicks. I'm not optimistic about Jose Bello. I'm not optimistic about Kyle Harrison. But I tell you what, I'm going to ride the wave. I'm going to hope, and I'm going to watch these guys progress, and I'm going to watch the Red Sox do what they can with these pieces. Are they younger pieces? Absolutely. 2 prospects, a 23-year-old and Kyle Harrison, who is now in the minor leagues. And then Jordan Hicks, who's injured, who will return as a dominant late-inning reliever. That is a quote from Craig Breslow. So they don't have any designs of him being a starting pitcher. Again, reported by Chris Calito, and again, citing a quote from Craig Breslow. It's very interesting. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that and lie to you that I believe this is a good return for Devers. When I heard that he was traded, I thought it was a lie. I really did. And I was praying that we were on the phone with Pittsburgh. Because if you're going to trade Rafael Devers, you better go out and get something substantial. Paul Skeens has 5 years of control. Is it likely he's traded? No. Should they trade him? Absolutely. He's just dying a slow death in Pittsburgh. He's losing every game he starts despite only giving up 1 run, if that, while striking out 8 to 12 guys a game. He's dominant. And if he had the run support in Boston, holy shit. Holy shit. Would that be fun or what? Obviously, we weren't on the phone with Pittsburgh. And we were on the phone with the Giants. And we got 4 players in return for Devers. And I'm not a fan of it. But again, doesn't seem like Devers was the one that was really in the limelight. Didn't seem like he was the only innocent body here. It seems like it was really split 50-50. Make sure you go check out the last episode of Red Sox Digest, breaking down quotes from legends and Manny Ramirez as well as David Ortiz about Rafael Devers as they called him out for his actions and the lack thereof. Thank you guys for watching, and let me know down below whose side are you on now after knowing all that we do know. I'll see you guys in the next episode of Red Sox Digest.